no one at any stage could indicate to me that this was going to be a concern to our business to the extent that we're going to have, well, a record flood. The only thing of interest was that on the Friday evening I had a friend, or have a friend, who lives near Eppalock. He rang me in the evening and he said, "Russell, you're in for a big one." He said, "I've lived near Lake Eppalock since, I think he said 72, and I've never seen the amount of water that's in it now." So he said it's a concern. Well, the records at Rochester show that there were 3 floods. 1916 was the biggest, 1956 the second biggest. This is the 56 flood, but of course then we had 2011. There's about a 9-inch difference between 56 and 2011. Naturally, 1916, the building was here, I think, but no one recorded the 16 flood. So that's the 2 levels there. The interesting thing is, though, that as you can see, the water was above the deck here, but if I'd stayed or stood further down the yard, you would have seen that the flood water was probably been above my navel, so that it was incredible what happened throughout this whole area.
We had 4 floods here in the last year. It started in September, we had a minor flood, and then November we had a major flood through the park, which went probably 2 feet into the toilet block. So we had to clean up then, and then January we had the big flood that was the biggest flood ever recorded. It went over 6 foot through the toilet block, and cleaned up from that, and we copped another one in February which went about another 600 mil through the toilet block again. So as people know, the Campaspe River is one of the fastest rising rivers in Victoria, and you don't get much warning. We get about 12 hours warning what's coming from Eppalock, and there was a lot of uncertainty. It was meant to be only 400 mil higher than November flood, which would have been bad, but not too bad, but it ended up being about a metre higher than the November flood, so it was a huge flood, and it just keeps coming. You only get a certain amount of time, and you have to do what you can in that time.
There was no warning, you didn't know how bad it was going to be?
No, we didn't know until we got the text message on the phones to say that Rochester was being evacuated, so we thought, well, we better get out. So the army's picked us up and took us out. So we never had time to lift anything up, so we lost a lot. So. Plus the stuff was in the shed, tools and that. I lost a lot of tools and that because it was we didn't know, didn't think it was going to get as bad because we had sandbags across the front and the water come in the back, and then just started coming over the front, and that was it. So and we just got out. So. I think there's still people still hurting, from, and it's 12 months later, and there's still people a bit of a, how would you say it, if it rains, people are a bit jumpy, I think, because you don't know whether we're going to get floods again or not. So. I like the area, that's why we parked the caravan down the back with the shed, because we want to stay there because the animals are there and our tools and what's left, and we just camped there. We're happy where we are. So next time we'll be built up higher and we won't have to worry about floods, hopefully. So
we're operating at half our sites have got power to them at the minute, so we don't have a lot of powered sites. We're still on generator power 12 months after the event. So we had to rebuild all our cabins and vans. They're all inundated with water, and so we've had to refurbish them, and floor coverings and curtains and whatnot, and painting and tiling. So it was a big job. We had no insurance, or we got no insurance cover from our insurer, and we did get a $25,000 grant from Rural Finance, which was fantastic, but as you know, it doesn't go a long way, but it was helpful to us.
The recovery effort, well, it is just initially on the Monday morning I opened the store straight away on Monday morning as usual, and I then had to just wade through the mud and try and dispose of what we could, but I wanted to think that the business was open for all of the towns because I knew that they were suffering well, they certainly, some of the people suffered far greater than we did, but I knew people were suffering, and I wanted to think that we had the facilities and the equipment available and material available for them. So we opened the store, and we were open from 7:30 onwards on Monday morning, and that we just went that way. It's just that the place was in a state of disarray and disorder. It's essential, I say, that the support we had from not only locals but from people that I didn't even know. I'm involved with Rotary. We had Rotary Club people. I had people from various organisations, and I even had people to this day I don't even know where they come from and who they were. They just turned up. So we had family, friends, community groups, and the support was fantastic.